Tim Winton's 2008 novel Breath is a contemporary coming-of-age story set in the quiet beach town of Sawyer, Western Australia, during the 1970s. It follows Bruce Pikelet Pike, whose growth is shaped by his complex friendship with Loonie and his later encounters with an older couple he meets through Loonie's adventurous spirit. At the start of the novel, Bruce is in his 50s, working as a paramedic and divorced. His lifelong thirst for thrills, which he reflects on throughout the narrative, has been funneled into his profession. A call to a boy's home, where the child is believed to have committed suicide, triggers something in Bruce. He dreams of saving himself from drowning and turns to playing his didgeridoo, which leads him to reminisce about his childhood in Sawyer. Growing up with elderly, conservative parents, Pikelet often felt out of place among his peers. His solitary gift was his skill in swimming. When Pikelet is 11, he meets 12-year-old Ivan Loonie Loon, who shares Pikelet's love for the water but is more drawn to risk-taking. Loonie's favorite stunt is holding his breath underwater to make people think he is drowned. After a challenge, Pikelet proves he can hold his breath just as long, and the two form a fast bond through their shared love of danger. One day, they ride their bikes to the ocean, a place Pikelet's father forbade him to visit, and watch the surfers. They are captivated by their grace and fearlessness, particularly one older, skilled surfer, Bill Sando Sanderson. Sando soon takes the boys under his wing, allowing them to store their secondhand surfboards at his house and teaching them how to surf. The boys quickly become competitive for Sando's approval, and their friendship is tested by jealousy. This dynamic also creates tension between Sando and his young American wife, Eva, who grows increasingly moody as she witnesses his close relationship with the boys. Initially indifferent to her, the boys begin to notice her mood swings. As time passes, Sando pushes the boys into increasingly dangerous stunts. Loonie thrives on the thrill, while Pikelet, more cautious by nature, begins to feel uneasy with the constant risk-taking and one-upmanship. When Sando unexpectedly leaves for a surfing trip to Bali with Loonie without informing Pikelet, it becomes clear to him that the delicate balance of their trio has shifted, perhaps irreversibly, and no longer favors him. Left behind in Australia and inwardly fuming over Sando's preference for Loonie, Pikelet redirects his adolescent obsession and need for validation toward Eva. Eva is 25 and Pikelet this time is 15. Bonding over their shared feelings of being scorned by Sando, their relationship turns sexual. An adolescent boy, Pikelet is at first excited by this, but the excitement soon wears thin. Eva likes to be choked and has a history of autoerotic asphyxiation. Her sexual needs eventually repulse Pikelet. As Pikelet becomes disillusioned with Eva, he also starts to see his relationships to Loonie and Sando in a different light. One day, for instance, after Sando has returned to Australia, Pikelet sees him strutting about in a Speedo that he thinks is inappropriate for a man his age. He begins to see in Sando's behavior a creepiness he had never noticed before. Much later, Pike, fully grown, stumbles across a laudatory magazine article about Sando, who has gone into the snowboarding business. He learns that Eva committed suicide and that Loonie, adrenaline junkie to the end, died in an apparent drug deal in Mexico. Pike reflects on his life and how his adolescent experiences with Loonie, Sando, and Eva indelibly influenced it. He attributes to the trauma he experienced during that period, the later dissolution of his marriage, and a stay in a mental health ward. Despite these negative ramifications, Bruce goes on to have two beloved and healthy daughters and continues to surf, although not in the extreme way he had with Sando. Breath can be read as an extended meditation on the pitfalls of thrill-seeking. For Winton, these all literally involve breath. From Loonie's early practical jokes to Sando's death-defying rides over the crashing waves to Eva's sexual fetishes. And as Pike muses toward the end of the novel, more than once, I've wondered whether the life-threatening hijinks that Loonie and I and Sando and Eva got up to in the years of my adolescence were anything more than a rebellion against the monotony of drawing breath. By making an automatic biological function the primary motif of a novel about a physically and emotionally devastating coming of age, Winton suggests the importance of trauma generally to the development of identity. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.